Welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the Old World. I'm one of your hosts, as usual, Gommo, and I am joined by Andrew and Josh. And we are tired because we just came off daylight savings. Feels like 10 p.m. here, doesn't it, people?
It is. It is. My body clock is screaming.
Oh, John's in the chat. Yeah, we were just saying that all the Aussies have gone to bed. Mark's on. Hey, Mark. But yeah, it's always the way the first day after daylight saving drops off. I think most people. I mean, you get a bit of a sleep in, but it doesn't really equate to make it easy to stay up, does it? By the end
Not
of
after the Easter long weekend and all that fun
too,
sights in there. And,
yeah, it's been a long one. So anyway, we'll see how we go, guys, tonight. We'll we always say we might keep it a bit shorter, but we'll see how we go. Ghosts there as well. His kids go to sleep an hour early. That's true.
That's true. That's true. We probably could have started half an hour early.
Not last night, they didn't.
Didn't they?
Couldn't even coax them to bed. Oh, hang on. No, last night would have been after Easter, so they'll probably sugared up.
Sugared up, and then we went out, and it was just late. And then today they were just like, you think they'd be tired after a huge night, but then they're just like tired, but like full grumpy, just attacking each other, just all day. It was like monkeys just attacking each other. And I'm just like, just all day. I'm just wrecked, eh?
I feel sorry for you, but at the same time, I'm like, I've done that. We went away I went up to Armidale, and my kids stayed at home because they had shifts. So I didn't even take it, like our kids never come. So it's the first time without them, like for Easter, at least at my wife's side. And then it's just a stepbrother because like remarried, not from divorce or anything, like Kate lost her mum, but that he's heaps younger. He's like he's when I say heaps younger, he's 30, but he's got a 3-year-old. So like the 3-year-old's running around, and we're up there with no kids sitting around going, I like this. This is pretty cool. Like it's not my kid. I don't have to get up. Yeah, it was just bizarre.
Yep.
So we go to bed early. We got up early, went for a run. All that sort of stuff. It was interesting times in the Gowdy family these days. So
got the freedom to just smash an entire chocolate bunny.
Yeah,
if you like,
can do it. I basically do eat too many chocolate. Like I buy all this crap and I just eat half of it. It's pretty bad, but anyway. I'm a sucker for Cadbury. Okay, anyway, we better get into something. If we want to keep it shorter, we better keep it on. It's basically an extension of last episode, which we never got to what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, part 2.
Oh, we never do that. It's like the first time.
Because we are so into trying to build some terrain, and I know Josh is obviously leaps and bounds. I'm assuming, Josh, you're going to regale us with some of your 3D printing stories as well during this. Is that right?
Wait, you're talking about...
And if not, I want you to, because that sounded funny from what some of the comments I saw going through Discord over the weekend.
Alex is going to be so excited.
I will get to that,
Okay, we'll get to that. Might be more hobby. But anyway, we've got a bunch of terrain stuff just to chat about. It's going to be pretty low-key, but we hopefully it's probably... Josh does such a good job. I want to, we'll hit him up with some questions and see how he builds some of his terrain, but also... Yeah, just chat it in general, I guess, and we've got a bunch of like little notes there that we'll talk about. But we did both get, and I didn't even know you did, Josh, until you did it. Some games with the new Renegades. So me and Andrew got a game in with the Skaven, and you got a game in with the Dark Elves. So I think
that's right.
Probably time we might mix that in second half. Just have that go. Yep, obviously, our bat wraps up, so people know how that one went. I'm assuming they all watched it. But I have no idea
knows how mine went. No. All you guys got was one photo at the time. Didn't even bring it up at all. It was just happening.
Yeah, that's good. So that's the fun episode. So anyway, and then a little bit of news. If we get to it, we'll see. I don't know if it's news or just rumors floating around. So we'll just see how we go. But with that, I don't know if there's definitely any other shout-outs.
Hopefully we can cover it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how. See how long we're going.
Okay. Well, should we just smash into it? We did a lot of shout-outs last week. They can wait till next week. We'll do our usual Patreon awesome shout-outs. Sorry, guys. And I should actually say, if it is your first time watching and you're painting along, we do rabble on and ramble on. And so, but we do that because we have a bunch of great patrons who do support us, and they get a shout out and a few questions thrown at us at halftime, which we'll try to do in the next 40, 50 minutes, something like that. So with that, let's just smash into some of the, I've lost my spot now, the actual terrain stuff. So how do you want to, I took some notes last week, and I don't know if the notes you've added in here, Josh, are from last week or this week, but
pretty much
did you want
the
to...
same as last week. I mean,
okay.
Well, what I did was, I just expand on the notes that, sort of expand on that. But I copied them all over pretty much from last week because they were left untouched. We got so distracted with friggin' Skaven Renegades and never really hit it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
there's a lot to talk about, isn't there?
Oh, there is. Like, I mean, we were going to have a little bit of a chat about sort of just how it sits into the game and whether or not, like, you think about painting, you think about how to play the game, you think about bloody meta, you think about all this stuff, and sometimes terrain's a little bit of an afterthought, not just from presentation, but sometimes from rules writing as well. But I think we're going to probably focus more on the presentation side.
It's annoying because some of the rules are quite cool, but there is a balance you got to have about how complex it is, because sometimes if it's hard to remember, i.e., the classic example being the building rules, people are just like, no, I don't want to engage with this. It just makes the game too complex, and it's not enjoyable. If it's just a simple thing like for instance the difficult terrain effects in the old world, which are minor but meaningful and easy to remember, I think there's a sweet spot you can hit. For
that's
a lot
good
of
rules writing when they do that, isn't it? I mean, that was one of the best. I mean, we've talked about it so many times that we think it's got to be in the top 10, if not the top 5 changes introduced in this edition. I think just that simple mechanic. And then you've got the other ones like WTC and stuff that took it a little bit further, not so much changing the rules, but like adjusting the types of dangerous versus difficult depending on the unit type. That gets a little bit complex, but is playing with the same rules, so I like that. And then you get the variability then of the actual terrain, because it's a little boring if all you get is a forest and an impassable, like building, and a hill. So it's nice to mix it up a little bit.
It is nice to get other stuff in there for sure, especially when it's a functional rule set. Like that's a thing. Like it is actually worth engaging. And I'm finding more and more you can feel that. I'm actually feeling now that I've, like you'll see on the game that I have. Actually, can I pull it up? I'm going to pull it up. There's actually quite a bit of terrain on this. You guys look closely. There's a good I'm only running on a 5-foot wide table. There's actually there's multiple fences. There's actually impassable off the screen on the right as well. Sorry. The left, sorry.
Yeah.
Left. And that's, and it didn't feel constrained. I think it's partly because the fences and the forest and that type of thing, they're actually stuff you can move through. I think impassable terrain's a bit different, but
that's cool.
The old world for sure.
So and I guess that picture paints 1,000 words. I think the thing we want to see, and we are seeing, I think that's what we rave about Western City Wargamers. What we're trying to do with Castle Assault, like making it doesn't have to be full themed. I know Josh, like what you'll regale us with, I'm sure is quite fully, like you just saw it, very themed tables. It doesn't have to get to that level, but to be able to actually have decent terrain. Because you want to be able to look across. I mean, so many people put so much time in, and we talk about painted armies, but you can put the best painted army, and if it's on a bloody MDF green painted piece of wood with, I don't know, like just shit like
printed 2D.
Wow, don't ever get it. At least we haven't seen that happen, like Ninth Age. Like that just went. I mean,
it's probably the worst example.
You might as well play on Warhol, and I'm not ripped. That's not a downer on Warhol. I'm just saying, at some point,
no, but
are you playing a miniature game?
I do like having the base like that, as long as you got something on top, and then you can move it. Yeah. Because then it's a nice representation underneath, but just having that neoprene terrain is. And
I know that's probably not the goal. I think they did it sometimes I've seen a few 9th ages where I looked across and go, what's happening over there? It's just all flat.
Yeah.
It's like the reverse of 40K where all you see is those L shapes. Like, it doesn't do anything, but it's, anyway, that's sort of where we're, I guess, getting to. Just, okay, we're going to start talking about, well, how do you make those battlefields look cool? And I guess one thing that's changed a lot, just to come out, because it'll be a shorter discussion sort of, is now, like years ago, we've got no discussion. You're pretty much making your terrain. I mean, you might buy some overpriced stuff from GW, but like, apart from that, even then they didn't have the whole lot.
Yeah, or you know, if further you go back, you go back to the old recipes that GW, like the White Dwarves had about. They had whole articles about how to scratch build terrain. You know, in White Dwarf, which sounds like totally foreign these days. They would never do that these days. And then they had the punch out stuff, you know, like in the 5th Ed starter kit and stuff. We had all those paper buildings, like
little castle,
buildings.
the little house,
but yeah, certainly, you know, it was not the level that you can do these days for a similar amount of effort. You know, when you start talking about 3D printing.
Well, that's the thing. I guess now you have this 3D printable. Even if you print or buy the print. I mean, straight away. I mean, we saw some of the stuff. If you saw our bat rep, some of the stuff we got off Pandem Wargaming, we bought a bunch more stuff. Obviously, Andrew prints stuff as well, and Josh prints stuff as well. Maybe. We'll try.
I think me and Josh.
But yeah, you just have this. I mean, geez, it's crazy how good some of this 3D stuff is. And I don't think it's an either or, is it? It's like 3D printing's added more stuff to it.
Yeah.
But now you're able to mix the two. You do the mix of scratch build with that printed stuff.
I think a mix is really nice, actually. And it's almost like, this is the weird thing. Sometimes when you say you got this nice looking piece of terrain, sometimes the question is, did you build that? Like, you know, and if you say, oh no, I've scratch built it, like you always get, like, it's weird, but you get more sort of like appreciation from it almost because the 3D printing is so easy now.
Oh yeah,
like, people like, it looks nice. Oh, it's 3D printed. Oh yeah, that's cool. Whatever. But weirdly, if you've built it, it's and I guess that makes sense because you're actually more attached to the piece as well because you put more time into building it up from nothing. So in a weird way, as a hobby, it's you're more sort of devoted to it in a way. But not taking anything away from either. And to some extent, yeah, I think the mixture of it is probably the most important. And like I love, really probably the thing I like to enjoy most doing these days is having a 3D printed feature, but having, you know, the structure and like the base is all stuff you've made from scratch kind of thing, you know.
And then you can mix it into your other stuff as well to make it match a bit as well.
Yeah.
I think I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. Like you can be, I mean, time poor, you just get, like I've, up until recently, I never would have bought a hill, for example, but I did buy some of the 3D ones off Pandem just because at some point, it wasn't like I've made all my own hills and get the blue board stuff out and it doesn't take that long. It's actually fine, but
it actually doesn't.
Yeah. But then I thought, I wonder what happens if you just buy it. And they actually come, it's pretty crazy. It was just like, oh, they're pretty cool too. So I was like, I'll probably use a mix going forward. For my own stuff.
They are nicely detailed. Those hills, I was looking at it, like he did go the real fine detail with the layer increment, so they are top notch.
They have that texture come, they're really good. So
I
don't know, it's just a variability of whatever, you know, if you time poor, do this. If you can build it all yourself, do it. It's just a mix, I think.
I mean the time aspect is a good point actually, because I feel like that is actually sometimes a really big limiting factor for how much terrain you can put out too. Because you do, like, even if you buy a bunch of stuff that's printed, you still need to paint it or flock it, all that kind of thing. There's actually a significant time investment that you got to do, especially if you're trying to do like multiple tables for an event or something like that. You know, it's like sometimes having some money aside is nice, but I think the time investment is probably the thing that's more constraining to a lot of people to get that terrain out and getting it looking good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, 100%. I think most people get like, I don't know. In the past I've had that where it's just like the bigger the thing, the more sort of intimidating it can be. Like a hill's fine, but once you start like forests even can be a bit intimidating if people don't know, if they're just going to buy a cool tree or they're going to scratch build it or they're just going to, but then when you get into buildings, like that's a whole, depending on what you want to do there. Yeah. Sorry, Andrew.
I'd bring something up because this came up with us recently. And it is, you guys will be all over it too, but the functionality of some terrain on the tabletop, particularly some of GW's old hills, like they're not very conductive with, rank and flank big units. I mean, even space, but I can imagine just everything falling off them. Like a lot of them actually, it's quite bizarre almost. It's almost like they've gone for something that looks really cool, like the old hills. Like I got them back there, but they're just they're not functional at all. Like, but and then that's where Cam, we ended up just going. He's just came for MDF, just 6 mil MDF, square, like
small.
Whatever. Yeah, small, so like shapes.
Height
wise.
Yeah.
Then I've printed some, but even these are quite thick as well. So you guys are all over it. Like, you got a unit.
Yeah, well, I do quite thick ones. I don't really care about it. I end up because I use a lot of. I mean, most people do use magnets and movement trays. Most of the time, it shouldn't. I find it doesn't overly matter as long as you can balance. but when it isn't or it's not, then
these little mini dice towers out.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty rare to not have magnetization of the trays these days. I find it's not a problem at all. And even if they're not, most of the time, if you've got you do have to make sure the hill, like if you're making a hill with a slope, you do have to make sure that slope is shallow adequately that you can still. And sometimes, like, to be honest, having static grass actually helps in this weirdly. To be able to stand a man-sized metal mini upright on the slope. For me, that's a test when I'm making him. I should be able to put it down without it falling over.
Josh's test.
I think I don't actually put curves on. I always do steps. I think Mark just said stepped hills ideally without dice. That's what I've always done. So they're being flat, and then I might put a second level. I know, Josh, you definitely do more of the curved ones.
I do. Yep.
And now having said that, some of the ones I bought off Pandem, the June ones I'm going to do, they are curved as well. But they're more like what you would have done, Josh, where they're not over the top. Like it's not going to move. Yeah.
Yeah. I strongly believe in them as long as they're done properly. But the thing, it's not like it's all just slope. Like I will on the snowboard there I did. There's a fair few rocky sort of cliff faces and that kind of thing, as well as the slope. So it's a bit of a mixture.
Yeah.
So in those cases, there is a step, which is equivalent to that. So it's a bit of a mixture in practice.
Yeah. They're probably better. You're talking about GW old ones, those fucking plastic. What was the actual game board thing they had? Where you had like
the Realm of Battle board.
Yeah, that thing. And I used to play thing. Remember Tom? Was it Tom who used to manage the GW at Newcastle? I used to go to his house and he hadn't painted it yet. So it's just like this black sprayed plastic, like everything would slide around on it. And the dice, oh God, the noise of those dice on that plastic, it probably gives me nightmares. It's the grossest sound. But
like I think that experience probably turned a lot of people off sloped hills at all. When it's just the bare plastic, because it just like it all slips down. Like it's just it must be so frustrating to play on.
It was just horrendous. But I mean, that was pre-neoprene, I guess. No one ever really does anything now. They just pretty much just go neoprene. Yeah, well, that's the real ones.
Yeah, the old GW ones. You put on the corners. Yeah, it's kind of like you'd have a unit up here, but then even the sides were same.
And
they'd be a bit annoying. Yeah, if it's not because it's too slippery. Like there's just the plat. So even if you're trying to stack dice under, like if you had a unit on the top bit there, and you're trying to stabilize it, it'd actually struggle to have the dice underneath stack because they're just going to slip down the slope they're on. Like it's not designed for usability at all. But it's funny how the neoprene mats have become so common. Like because I put a lot of effort into building my modular tabletop board thing. And then, a couple of years later, I'm like realizing, I should have actually just devoted my time to doing everything on mats and just using the mats only, because the modular stuff just takes so long to pull out and set up, and it's only for one board, and it's a lot of effort to expand it at all. Whereas the flexibility you get from mats is just insane.
And I did one. I mean, you guys probably played on my one that I made. It wasn't to Josh's level, but it had like a skull. I don't know if you remember the one I had at the other place, and it had like skull.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Like I'd taken
I do remember that.
Halloween stuff, like and baked it into the ground. So it had these big skull things, like huge. And like if you rolled dice anywhere on that board, they were cocked. And it's so many divots.
Roll 10 dice.
I do got the soldering iron out on it and just like made all these cracks and crevices. And I thought at the time it was a pretty cool board, but fucking annoying to play on.
That's the only way you can have divots in the board, like you can't do that on the mat. That's the one thing, and that's what attracted me to it when I was trying to do rivers and other water features. Is that you can dig into the board and have it really just set in there.
Now, having said that, playing online a bit more and using like if you do a bit more bat rep stuff and you use like the dice trays to actually roll the dice in, then it probably is slightly less of an issue. But it doesn't solve the fact that it's one style of board and it's a pain in the ass to get out and set up. So probably not as bad as your one, because yours is multi. You've got like multiple different size.
I had a bunch of 2x2 foots, a bunch of 2x1s, and a whole bunch of 1x1s. So there's a whole thing.
Crazy. I guess that's the board stuff, but we're probably assuming right now what we're mostly talking about and getting
we're a bit sidetracked.
Start sharing is the actual terrain features. So the things that you would put on the board: 2 hills, 2 forests, 2 buildings, lakes, that sort of stuff. That's probably where what we want to spend a bit more time on. And yes, 3D printing, we've talked a little bit about. We might leave some. I don't know if it was in our notes here. We probably should leave some of our favorite print, like not only Pandem, people who can service you to get them printed if you want, but where do you actually get some of the STLs? There's some good ones out there in the show notes. But even if you're doing that, I feel like even if you're doing that or not, and you're scratch building everything, 99% of all the other materials you need are still going to be the same.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
So do you want to go through some of that, Josh, in terms of and I think the cool thing that you've brought up here is, like we were talking about, like, do you go backyard or Bunnings? Like, do you go, for those who don't know Bunnings, that's the Home Depot. I don't know what it is. Actually, they have Bunnings in the UK, don't they? But yeah, like how much do you go and get real stuff versus, or even the hobby store versus going out the backyard or down the
I think you need to do all of the above, depending on what material you're after and what stage of the finish and the build you're at. So I don't know about you guys, but I always, regardless of what terrain I'm building, I do a little MDF foot for it.
I do that now. I never used to, but I do now. All my stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it provides
6 mil usually.
So you go
3 mil.
3. Yeah, 3 mil.
You can't can you get smaller than 3? Like at Bunnings. I mean, you probably can, but
like just cardboard then, really, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I use the project panels, which are technically 3.2 mil. Just because I've got a nice I like the texture underneath for some reason. Like, because it's got two different sides. It's got this side. And then it's got like the crossy. Oh, you can't really pick it up in this light.
It's the pashy type.
It's got the pashy stuff, which I don't know. I just feel like the feeling of it underneath.
Yeah, it's a good idea. That's a good tip. I feel like I just buy the normal MDF thing, but
better feng shui on the board.
Yeah, that's right. It's literally it's pretty irrational, but I just like that.
So which side do you put up? I was going to say, but if you put that more adhesive side, would it glue better? Or do you leave that as the foot, like to slide, stop it sliding around?
I just like the feel of it. And I think it grips better. I don't think you need more adhesive. Like, I think
that doesn't matter. Yeah, okay.
It doesn't fine. I like the feel of it. I think it grips better on the mat. It doesn't slide around as easily.
Okay.
But the thing is, and you can probably see it here, not only do I own these 3 mils, I actually then get a box cutter out and go right around the edge, cutting out, because I don't like having too much of a lip. So I've actually gone by hand. I make sure I don't slice anything. And then I sand it after I've cut it, and then I
Okay.
do the
Oh,
box
you
cut,
go
and I
all
sand
out,
it, and
Josh.
then I sand it again. And so
Okay.
that's how I end up with.
Now
like,
that's
six-
for.
And then
but
you feel it because it's.
what happens
beautiful.
if that was going to be a hill on top of that though? What if that
Well,
was the base for the hill? Are you doing
yeah.
that little lip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Whatever I do, this is what I do for everything. And then so with the hill, I mean, having the lip means that I start, I'm almost already sloping it a bit, because the
Yeah.
slope I want is not very, it's pretty
Oh,
shallow.
yeah.
Oh yes, sorry, yeah, sorry. I'm in my head. I'm putting the quite
Yeah, you're talking about
quite
a
up
steep,
and down.
a step
steep,
hill.
yeah.
I'm talking about a sloped hill.
Yeah, okay, it makes sense. Yeah.
Good to see Maddie's on my page. We both just got filthy minds. All right.
I totally didn't realize any of that was an opportunity for immaturity.
I was
still
going to
don't-
mention,
I
like, you're
still
saying how
don't
well
even
it feels,
know
and I
what
was
you're
gonna- I was
talking
gonna
about.
mention
I'm
something
still
about
missing.
enjoying it on your nipples or something. I'm like, I better not.
Oh my god, guys, it's so ridiculous.
Fucking Dark Elf players. That's probably not bad. Actually, that's the other bad. Oh, I don't know. Now I'm getting.
No, it
confused.
is. That is.
Oh, it
Dark Elf.
is. I thought he had
Yeah.
DE after it, but now I got it confused.
I
Okay.
think he's reverted.
Changed it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, the next step would either be, if I was making a hill, I'd be starting to stick like XPF foam on there, or cutting up into that kind of thing, or
Just
depending on what
talk
I'm
briefly
doing,
about that for people who landed in on that.
the
Just
foam.
the XPS foam versus like polystyrene, for example.
The XPF is just so much nicer to work with. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think, but the polystyrene is
100%.
just
Yeah.
super messy.
It makes
Yeah.
I haven't
it
touched
makes
this
a
stuff for
friggin'
years.
mess. Yeah.
Yeah.
And polystyrene just
Um,
seems to get more like stuck to you and harder to clean. Like,
Yeah.
because it's static, like
Yeah.
Mm,
it just
Yeah.
clings to everything.
yeah. Those
And
balls
you can
just
actually
catch
cut
Yeah.
the
while you
XPS better as well. Like you can get a clean cut if you need to. You can
Mm.
obviously hack it up. Obviously,
Yeah,
yes.
and I feel like it's easier to access in bulk. Like
Mm.
that's a
Yeah,
bonus.
no, you're right. It
Like,
must be, yeah, because you get basically
Um,
it's used as insulation foam, isn't it? Is that what it is?
it's an insulation. Yeah, so it's easy to access in massive, 6-foot-ish long pieces.
Yeah, for like $10 or
Um,
something Australian.
Yeah,
It's pretty cheap.
for
Yeah.
for nothing at all, and it's super light. So the more you can use it in your terrain, like in your hill, rather than using filler, so the more efficiently you can use that as the hill structure, the lighter your terrain tends to be as well.
Yeah.
What happened there, Josh? Where was the vet?
Huh?
With the polystyrene. Mark, his comments
What?
Oh.
saying it's a pitter. So yeah, if your pets
No.
ingest it.
No,
you
it's
kill
a
them.
pain in the ass.
Is it a pain in the ass?
Oh,
It's too late for Andrew.
is that what it is?
Wait,
Yeah.
But then he's
pets have
saying
to
like,
be
yeah, if
extra
your pets,
vigilant.
but is that correct? If pets,
Oh,
sorry, I
sorry,
thought
that's
that
a
was
da-
it.
No. Then he's added another one. Plus, be extra if your pets
Yeah,
have
yeah,
it, they'll,
okay.
yeah, they'll eat it. Yeah.
But is that a thing? Does that get stuck in their bowels or something?
I haven't really encountered pets ingesting polystyrene, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm not aware of being toxic.
I could see
yeah.
them chewing on it, but like,
Oh, probably.
I've had Labradors eat lots of different things, but I must admit,
Most of the time,
never
just probably
encountered
goes out the other
polystyrene.
end.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know what's the other. I also love Sculpt-It mold type stuff. Like the stuff I get it from Officeworks, and it's like this. Like I think it's most for schools. It's almost like paper mache type stuff. It's just a mixture of plaster and cardboard, like paper, just sort of mashed up.
And is it
and then
already mashed up,
use
or you got to
that
add
for the
water or
filler.
something?
You got to add water. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, for instance, it's just like around the base of those. I've got it sort of sitting
better. I
there.
might try grab some of that.
yeah.
Like
Looks
it's
cool.
so good. You can you literally buy like a 10-kilo bag of the stuff, and it lasts you freaking ages. Has that one got it as well? Oh yeah, this one does too. So yeah, it's just you just use it to shape
And just
stuff.
easier than a filler.
It just
really,
gap
'cause it
fills
is-
so
yeah.
much easier than filler because you're adding water to it. You can change the structure of it really easily as well, because you can have it thick, you can have it more liquid, and it
And just
dries
dry fairly
in
quick
about-
then?
Yeah, in about 15 minutes or so,
Oh, that's good.
it'll harden. then you got to let it like if you want to paint it, it's probably best to leave for 24 hours so it's fully dried out before you do that kind of stuff. But in terms of structural dryness and when it gets hard, you've got about.
Have you listed all these things down so we have them in the show notes?
No, but I will. Sure.
Can you move with your fingers and hands better than normal filler? Because normal filler is quite like you put a finger on it and it'll like be quite an impression. Because did you say it was a byproduct of cardboard or something?
Yeah, it's a mixture of cardboard. More paper and plaster.
Yeah.
So it becomes.
So you wouldn't get impressions as bad as sometimes like you'll shape something with your fingers and you have like impressions from your fingers or something. Like if you don't use like a little like spatula tool or something to smear it in.
It's not that even that like it's not that fine. Like it won't pick up your fingers, but it won't even pick up a spatula really. Like it's such a thick material. Yes. You do want to keep. You can go because you can have it quite water. You can sort of go back to it and keep sort of smoothing it out as it sort of cures.
Awesome. So it looks quite organic, even though you hold it. Yeah,
it's super forgiving.
That's awesome.
And the thing is, even if you don't really like the shape of it, you can just go back and sand it, and it takes sanding really nicely.
So where did you get that from? Sorry,
I got it from Officeworks. A big box of it. I've had to get it a couple of times now. Yeah.
So that's just in the craft section, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I'll have to try that.
That's really good, eh?
I've always used, because I've started doing what you like a lot of, like I'll shape stuff with the XPFs or but then I'll usually throw on, filler basically. And it just, it gets everywhere. It's messy. Like, I don't know. I feel like it takes ages to dry a bit or like something that, I don't know. It feels like what you're just saying, Josh, sounds something I need to look at.
I reckon fillers are really good because a couple of times I've had like buildings and things on bases that I stick on, and it's good to have something that you can kind of like fill around the edges so it like makes it look like it's been there for a while and like the earth come up around it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's what you want for sure. And you can just glob it on.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That sounds really good.
I think Josh has nearly found it.
I have found it. I will share the screen. This one.
I hope Josh is going to give us a lesson on dirt sieving.
We're covering that next because I saw that in his thing. I'm like, I need to know about this.
That's
I spend too much money buying shit off hobby stores, and it costs too much.
I mean, that's how I use it. You can just glob it on and just jam it around stuff, and it just gives you so much shape to it. I will have to find the name of it. The name of it, I'm going to struggle to find.
I don't remember. We'll do it later. Leah, let's get on with the whole dirt materials things. I think that's a cool topic because obviously there's a heap. You go into a train section or a hobby section, there's all this stuff around flocks and like sand and gravel, and Games Workshop used to have their like little sand basing things and all that, but I do spend too much money on that crap because I'm lazy, but really probably that is too much time, and it's even lazier to go down the bush right next to me.
Yeah.
So where do you get all your stuff from, Josh? What's this sieving thing?
So I found it. It's called the it was Sculpt-It modeling mix, educational colors. Although I don't think it doesn't look like Officeworks have it on their website anymore. That'll make me very sad. Anyway, I've still got a big bag of it. But I can put the name of it in the show notes. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I haven't been under the house for a while because last time I did a massive batch of it.
Under the house.
For ages. But my preference is dirt. I love dirt. I just use it all the time. But the thing with dirt is you've got to fix it nicely. So it doesn't take to glue very easily. So you've got to use alcohol to hit it to like take out all the surface tension, so you can then glue it all down. That is definitely my next step in terms of doing the surface once I've done the sculptor mold and that type of thing. And I think I've got a photo of that.
Is that it?
That's similar. So that's the sculpt. That's probably the original one. I think it's more available in America.
It's on Amazon.
The Sculpt-It stuff is probably cheaper, but harder to like. It's more of a generic one that I've got. But yeah, the Sculpt-It mold is like the original one and the premium one. I don't know how much it's
awesome.
before. But yeah, this is my dirt stuff. So this is, I think, is after I fixed it. You know, so I've just I've painted the rocks as well. But I've actually got dirt of different. Like I've used different sieves to get different sort of width of particles and that kind of thing. And more and more, I often will mix in flock and that kind of thing at this stage. I mean, back then I was actually doing this and then the static grass and then hitting it with flock and fixing it each time. But I think it's just a matter of just building up the layers.
Yeah, so like walk me through that. Like, so what do you, and even the fixing, like what do you've just done you've put the structure down like with that hobby stuff and that's dried. And then, so what are you doing then? Are you covering the whole thing in?
Saturating the whole thing.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
In your Podge or PVA?
So, first I saturate it in the isopropyl alcohol, like 90%, whatever, or 99%, whatever it is.
Do you just spray it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to spray it and probably easier to spray it. If you're using something like a smaller area, I would just use my dropper. Like I've got like these droppers and I just use them.
Yeah.
It's a lot cleaner and probably doesn't waste as much. And then I'll hit it with a Mod Podge, usually diluted, either sort of 30 or 40% Mod Podge to water, sort of a bit more sort of diluted. And that just runs down and the Mod Podge does a really good job of sealing it, and it doesn't go yellow or anything. It's not like it's PVA. It doesn't contract either, like in the same way PVA does. So if you've got like a thin board like this, and you've just put a little bit of Sculpt on top, and then you hit it all with the glue, if it was PVA, the whole thing would just warp, and you just go and just contract. Where Mod Podge doesn't tend to do that at all. That's why I love it.
But then you're putting your dirt over, but different grades of it. Do you do?
Yeah, I do all the dirts in one step. Like dirts, whatever I want. And to be honest, you could probably do flock at that point as well, even if you're doing static grass after that. But yeah, I would do all the dirt and then seal it with the Mod Podge and the alcohol, and then I'd do the static grass. And the static grass, I sort of dab the Mod Podge on and then hit it with a static grass sort of applicator, because I find that's helpful rather than just dropping it. Because the applicator is worth an investment. You can get it from train stores.
Is that the electric one?
But not very. Yeah, electric one.
Yeah,
battery operated one.
Or the battery one.
You can usually there's usually like independently made ones, like the Woodland Scenic one's quite expensive.
Yeah.
But some of the other model train stores have got like home brand ones or ones that they've actually done themselves. They're actually quite well priced. I think Australian train model has had a good one that I got. But yeah, a static grass applicator actually makes quite a big difference for if you're going to use the static grass. And the thing is, the weird thing with static grass is the more I use it, the more I realize how nice it was for keeping models stable on hills, because it actually does. It makes it
it's all sticking out.
But the thing is, you do have to make sure it's properly sealed on there. So that's I put the static grass on, and then I do another coat of sealing, and then
how are you doing that? Like, is that a spray? But so again, you diluted it and pumped
alcohol and then Mod Podge.
But the problem with the Mod Podge,
I was spraying it, and probably it's easier with the spray. But the problem then is once it dries, it clogs your spray up pretty bad.
You're just using some cheap ass.
You've got to thoroughly clean it out after each use, pretty much. Yeah, I got Daiso sprays, and that's usually fine.
So you wouldn't use just like a standard little atomizer spray, like a home. You reckon an actual fine spray from your spray gun's better?
No, the atomizer spray would be fine as well. Although I find, you mean like the little hand pump things?
Yeah, but like the ones for like ironing and stuff, like same sort of thing. Like it's just got
those ones would be fine.
Yeah. Or like your Windex, like an spray and wipe.
But he's just saying like you definitely need to clean it out. Otherwise,
I only bought the Pacific one because we didn't have any. We don't really buy. She makes her own spray, like cleaners, and just reuses her bottles. So
so you don't have any spare stuff.
Oh, dude, that's funny.
Cool. Okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. Okay,
But the thing
so
with the set
I
of grass
need
is
to
you
do
do have to seal it properly because otherwise it'll just come off all the time. It'll just be shedding constantly. So
Yeah.
it's actually, you want to do multiple layers. I don't usually hit it with varnish, although I think that might also work as well as a final coat. But yeah, I think
Like I wonder
multiple-
if one of those sprays, because I used to use those art matte sprays that are varnish, but it's just that people use on their artwork
Yeah.
from hobby
Yeah.
shops. But
I wouldn't
wonder
do
if
that by
would go
itself.
well.
Like I think that would do okay, but yeah, I think you do need to use a couple layers of Mod Podge to really set it.
When you're doing those sealants over the top of that, are you like really diluting the Mod Podge though?
No, it's the
Versus
same
30?
dilution.
Okay, it is.
No.
Okay.
No, it's 30 at
Interesting.
least. Yeah, 30 to 40%. I bought like a massive tub of it. So
Mod
yeah,
Podge.
I've seen the big tub.
you saw the big tub that I got a few years ago? I haven't. I have still on that. I still on
I've
that
seen it
tub.
at Bunnings. Yeah, the big one. I'll just keep getting just because I don't know.
Yeah, I've
It's
just
such a financial commitment, the big one. It's like,
I'll have to try this. Okay, cool. That's cool. So okay, the dirt is under your house. Are you going for any particular type of dirt or lots of different types? And it has to be dry. Or do you dry it?
Has to be dry.
Where'd you get your sieves from? You got to tell me all this stuff.
Just an appropriate looking sieve. Daiso is a good place for sieves. If I'm gonna tell you.
Is it really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah. It's got random stuff in there. That's where I got the sieve for my resin as well. Life changing getting that sieve out of my resin. Absolutely.
Surely there are bones under Josh's house, not dirt. Maybe that's how he does it. It's crushed up bones. He's saying it's dirt, but really, it's just.
But the thing is, like, you can do all this terrain. I guess you actually, the thing that catches the eye, as much as it looks nice, is you want little details on there as well. I think that's actually really important. To have like little bits of debris or like a broken wheel here or there, or just little things that catch the eye. Maybe some birds,
make it look
stray
real.
cat. Yeah. I think, or some weapons or a skull or something, like if you want to be Warhammery. I think that's probably the thing that sometimes it actually takes the most thought. Almost like you can crack through all this terrain, but actually, I think the thing that slows me down is thinking out little extra things you could add to it, and that's where the 3D printing comes in as well, because that's where the 3D printing multiplier effect on all your scratch built stuff actually can have an incredible effect in increasing the quality of it and just the detail work that was very nigh on impossible to do. Just a few years ago.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, I noticed on the other one, you had the skull. You had you had that crashed up card up against the hill, the rocks.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, absolutely. You want it to look lived in.
Yeah, that's true. I'd have to think a bit more about that. I'm always just get it on the table quick, but it does. This is the thing, it makes just that little extra attention to detail. Going on that picture you got up there, Josh. Sorry, go back to your river. Oh, so your pond.
This one? Oh wait, this is my massive Mod Podge bottle that I bought for $100. 4 liters. Which one? The lake
that one. Yeah. So like, in terms of rocks, like, is that even? Is that like that? Looks like that's just
the straight up pine.
Pine.
I've gone all in on pine. Like, so my older ones
light. As well.
Yeah, like so so the older ones, and if I can pull that photo up, I was using bark, but I was actually being quite cautious about leaning into it. I didn't trust it too much, so I was actually using a lot more of your Woodland Scenics molds, where you like the little plaster molds you get.
Plaster,
where you can actually just shape, you can build. I don't think I've got a photo of it, but and I ended up buying like a whole bunch of them, and they work really well. You can do sort of different things like that, but for the my snow ones that I was doing with a lake, I ended up going pretty much all in on the pine, almost because I kind of wanted a specific feeling to it. With more stratification and more wild, versus when I was doing my grass hills, they weren't going to be as rocky and they weren't going to be as exposed and that type of thing. So I didn't want that many rocky areas. So just a few little plaster rocks. That's a super light anyway. Would do the job. Whereas when I'm doing the mountain sort of snow terrain, I kind of wanted large areas of rock and it also looks sort of a similar style. And yeah, so I leaned into the pine and I was like, I think the pine will work, kind of thing. I had to be picky with the pine though, because I don't know, sometimes you have to be careful about what point of the bark it is. And you know, you want the whole piece of the bark, because if the top has sort of come off, it's sort of a bit too flat at the top and it doesn't quite have the rocky sort ofness to it. I don't know, you gotta
so where's this? Have you got some of that near your house, or do you go
I got pine trees. Yeah, dog walk. Being heckled while I pick it up because don't bring termites home.
Yeah, that's right.
Thought you might have been raiding kids' playgrounds and grabbing all the bark off the ground.
The tan bark.
Yeah.
Nah, I would, but it's not up to scratch, man. Gotta get the genuine fresh pine bark straight from the source, straight off a tree.
No, that's cool.
That's cool.
No, it definitely looks pretty cool. So it's enough there to start. I need to have a look at scratch building some more like that, I think, because it looks so simple when you've talked through it. It's just like, okay, I get it now. But and obviously you just depending on the season of the terrain, you'll just paint it, I guess, depending on. I mean, you got to cover most of it up, so you're going like a fairly dark paint and dry brush.
It depends on what I'm doing, really. So with that winter stuff, I actually ended up buying it. I found like a dark grey sort of spray paint. I hit it with the black and then sort of the grey sort of dark, was it grey bluey color? And then then I did a bit of dry brushing and then I washed it and I dry brushed again and then I hit it with the snow. So there was a few steps in that process, but I think I needed to seal it a bit better as well, because I found that if I just painted it, it would actually get knocked easily and you get the white exposed again. So I think I should actually learn. I think I need to use the varnish a bit more
on the snow ones.
Well, just on any areas that are going to be uncovered by other terrain or unsealed, so I am planning to do some like Badlands type stuff, and that's going to be pretty much uncovered. That's just going to be sealed rock, and sort of the ready sort of brownie color. Without much else on it, so that's going to be quite different. So I'm going to have to make sure I seal that properly so that, the edges aren't getting knocked around, because especially transport and storage, that's actually a really important part of it, isn't it, guys? And that is actually something that is really important that you've got to do from step one, which is I need this piece of terrain to fit in the constraints of my storage containers.
It's a good point.
There's nothing worse than having it finished and going, fuck, this is too big or too wide, and now I have to either have its own custom storage or it needs to have a wheelie on the side, then a break. Like you actually want to design it from the start, have a limitation of either the height or the width, whatever it is, so that you can easily transport or store it.
And stuff. Yeah, God.
Do you do
those huge?
Huh?
Do you do any padding, or you just throw it in those?
No, I throw it
plastic tubs.
I throw it in my tubs. I'll go get a tub.
I was going to say, ask him if he started, splitting them into. I guess he would put them into their own. This is my table 3's terrain. That type of thing. But I probably won't get to that level. I'll probably put like all summer terrain, or that stuff like that, or. We might have to get to the point where it's like all hills are in this one.
I was thinking that, or you might do like 2 or 3 tables in one tub or something.
Yeah, especially if it's the same stylish type stuff. And around. That's probably what I'll end up doing. Yeah, like have 2 for desert ones and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but because you're probably going to have more grassy ones versus.
I worked out one box per table. So this is actually.
So you are doing per table, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, because I figured at an event, I just want to plonk a box on each table and go.
And get someone.
What's the terrain for this table? And it means I don't have to go searching for all the different bits. Because initially I was actually storing it by terrain type. So all the
Well, that's
hills
what
in
we were
one
just
box,
talking about. Yeah,
all the
yeah.
hedges in one box, all the forests in one.
Oh,
Like, and it's just
yeah,
not.
probably wouldn't do that. Yeah.
It's not practical.
We were just saying that we might
Sorry.
do like 3 terrain, like like all summer terrain in one, like so that way you've got 3 tables worth.
So this is three things. The thing is, I made a mistake though, because as I'm saying,
Josh has got lots of
with the
crates.
tower.
Terrain.
It's got all those monoliths.
This tower wouldn't fit
Yeah.
on its side in any of those flatter ones. So I had no choice but to use
A bigger one.
a deeper box for that. But I mean, it ended up being kind of a large table anyway. So
Yeah.
I don't bother padding it. I haven't just worked out a system for that really. I mean, I guess I could put some padding in, but I don't know.
I don't know. They're inherently a little bit more tougher, and you don't notice the odd scuff and stuff over time.
Yeah.
Generally, it's probably something that you can fix up as you go. Oh, that's a good point. Mark said you could magnetize it just on the bottom. Yeah, you probably could. Might move around as much. Yeah,
I guess I could.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Some of it's stacked on itself though as well. I could. When I magnetize all my movement trays in the same way, I guess I could do that.
the thing I've got to get, like, I like the idea of what you've done there. You're probably convincing me to more go per table, but that's because I'm thinking now about getting terrain for a tournament. Whereas when all my terrain mostly at the moment was just my own. So it's like, it's not built for one table. So like I don't want to just pull out one table's worth of terrain and go, that's from every time I get that box, it's the same set. Like I mix stuff around when I play different games. But
but you'd have different sets though. Like because like what I'm saying a picture in my head is, I've got these 3 wooden window tables, and if I, even if I'm playing at home, I would pick one of them and pull it out and go, this is the set for that table, right? It's not like I would have one box and that's it. And even for my grass terrain, which at the moment has been pretty randomly higgledy-piggledy, I am at the moment currently working through splitting it up into more archetypes, having like a crossroadsy watchtower type board and then a farmy hamlet type thing, like a few things like that. And again, like even if I'm at home, I'd be like, I want to play on the farm board, and so like I'll just pull it out.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's a good way to think about it. I haven't thought of it like that generally, but maybe that's something. That
Neither have I. Like this is something that's new for me as well, and it's only since running some of the events this year.
Well, I mean,
that I'm really starting to go into it and go, oh, actually, this is. And it took me ages to work out this system because like even the transporting situation for me took a long time to refine through all the months and years of running the campaign and stuff. Where I'd have to haul all this stuff to House of War, for the campaign stuff. The reason I didn't do set tables for that though is because the way that campaign worked, a lot of the terrain would be generated based on whatever was happening in that battle, and it wasn't compatible with.
And they're smaller terrain boards.
But I did have to work out a pretty solid terrain transportation system that was practical and efficient. And so it's sort of pretty much just building on that now and going, actually no, I could just do it one per table kind of thing.
Okay. Where should we go from here? Because I mean, we probably didn't touch. This is very sort of. I was going to say basics of it because we haven't got into building any type of specific type of terrain. That's probably a whole different discussion in terms of how do you do trees, how do you do like buildings, how do you stretch
that's
rivers.
Such a big topic, man.
Like, that's totally
so
different.
Big. That's so big.
So like,
I don't
know. There's an interesting thing here about competitive versus narrative, but I think is that sort of what you were. That's worth talking a little bit about. Because when you've gone, you would have to know what you're trying to do there. Because like you said, if it's symmetrical, then you are automatically knowing that I'm doing half the amount of terrain, but I'm doing 2 of it. Like in terms of if I'm going to put a building on this table, I need to do 2 of them. Like
if you're doing it symmetrically, but
that's right.
Well,
so it just
clearly,
depends on what you're doing.
Clearly and obviously not doing symmetrical tables.
No.
But yeah, that just depends on how you do it. And I think
I was going to say though, the benefit of the symmetrical is it might make it easier to someone get started, that they don't have to make they're making two of the same hill and two of the same building.
Yeah.
Especially if you're 3D printing, that's probably one that comes up
Yeah.
quite easy,
Yeah, it'd be
for
easy to get
symmetrical.
started on it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think either way you can get started pretty easily. I think it's just good to have a set out in your head of what you want, or not even your head, write it down, and go, okay, this table should have this, so this size, and actually sort of, and even just measure out the table and even put out like little markers and go, does this table feel right? Is this enough terrain? Is this sort of the right amount?
Yeah.
And then go ahead and do it. So I think
have you done that prior
the
or
outset.
post or whatever the word is there to getting a mat?
Ooh.
What do you mean getting a mat? As in my first mat? You mean? Is that what you mean? Or
Well, I
what do
mean,
you
like if you're starting to come up with your terrain, I feel like you'd need to know. Well, I'm putting that on a mat, and if I'm putting on, I am putting on a mat, for example. But is it a snow mat? But then, do I need to see the snow mat before I even know what I'm going to build?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need
did
the mat
you do? Which way did you do? You got the mat.
No,
okay.
you
or at
absolutely
least
gotta
knew
get the
which one you were going to buy.
No, I think you should buy it.
Yeah, because you need
Put
to
it
see
down. You need to see it. What happened with those snow mats? So you guys are going to be ridiculous. I put it down, and then because I had those monolith things done already that had the snow theme on them. I stuck them on the mat. I'm like, fuck, this snow is too white for the color of snow on the mat. The mat was like grayish, like windswept, and so all my snow. I wonder if I still got it. Where is it? All my snow is actually a different color. Because I was adding in. Actually, no, that comes through pretty well. This is normally a bright white, like fully primal white snow, and I've added in a whole lot of shadow grey, just layer paint, to bring it right down, so it fits the map better. Because otherwise, I don't know, I just didn't have the same uniformity.
Wow, so good.
Didn't feel real.
Yeah.
I'll just hit this. So, Matt, when you're talking about before how to make your own terrain, obviously that's going to be quite a big thing. But yeah, sorry. Mark was bringing up a good resource. Obviously, things like YouTube. There's a lot of terrain channels out there. He was giving a shout out for Barefoot Terrain channel with Max and Bruno. Apparently, they make amazing scenery for dummies, just like Mark and myself.
Yeah, cool.
There you go.
Yeah, I've seen Barefoot stuff. I didn't realize they. Is that on their normal channel then? I have to check that. Okay. Yeah, cool. To check what they do because they have great looking terrain. Okay, yeah, that's cool. That you've answered because I did a similar thing incorrectly with like when I did the snow one, which again is nowhere near the level you've done. I just wanted the snow stuff, but I couldn't find. I just went for the cheapest snow mat and ended up getting this Mantic one, which is like way too busy. I mean, it's okay, it plays, but that one, it's got like Zentian stuff on it almost, and it's like got ice stuff, and it's like really busy. So when you put stuff on it, it's like fuck, like. I don't know, even with terrain, even if you had the terrain mapped on there, it's actually a very busy mat.
Yeah.
Like I probably wouldn't buy that one again. Like you sort of want stuff that's a little bit
interesting you say about the
lower
busyness,
key.
because it's almost like with snow specifically, I found that just in the outcome, what I've done with my stuff is you almost don't want it too covered in snow because otherwise it sort of disappears a bit into the mat.
Yeah.
And when you have terrain on the board, you want to be able to see it. Like, oh yeah, that's a hill there. Not like
yeah.
What's that? So I think to some extent you do want the terrain to sort of stand out, and not just sort of disappear. And that comes back to you don't want the mat itself too busy because then that also makes it hard to read.
Well, you can't. It gets those. Like, and the other thing too, then it makes it really hard to place the terrain in any way that looks like. You got to this sort of has to go here because it looks stupid if it's sitting halfway and then it's ice lake when it's like a fucking forest or
that's nice.
It's a little annoying. But anyway, it is the one I bought. I'll try to buy another one later. But I mean, it works. It's fine. But yeah.
I got a similar map. It's just got roads everywhere. It's got so many roads on it. It's just it's frustrating because you can't really put a hill or a building straight on top of a road. Like it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's so many friggin' roads on this thing. It's just, it makes it very hard.
I do want to, like, I want to get one, like, I mean, I've always wanted that one that Josh has, but I have to get it from that expensive place.
Which one?
I can't remember which one it is, but it's got like all the roads. It's like the town.
Oh, the city, the urban one. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that one, man. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's just like I know it's got lots of roads on it, but it's you're not putting roads on it. It's a city one. And it's just got nice spots for all the buildings. And it just
Well, that's
like,
why I want to have one of them at least.
It's
for,
just a nice
castle where
balance.
you can put. Most of them are going to be buildings.
Big
Most of
cut.
it's impassable, but it's just an interesting map to play on because it's like
That would be.
you
Because
really
mine's
saw
like
that.
just grassland, but it's just got roads everywhere. It
Oh,
feels
right,
like you've got to put
right.
stuff in. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
weird. But
okay.
yeah, the city one, I've seen them. They look awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do have a sort of one, but mine's fallen apart, so I need to redo it. So anyway, anything else, Josh? Because we're probably enough time. There's heaps more stuff we're going to talk about, but anything that you thought we missed that you want to shout out?
Not really. I think it's important that you've got to. I haven't probably touched on this really, but even when you're building it, and I mean, I guess we did obliquely with the hills, is that it does have to be playable. There's really nothing worse than terrain. Well, there is stuff that's worse than this, but it does put people off putting lots of terrain on the board if the terrain itself is hard to play around. Like, especially if it's stuff you can move through, but there's no space to actually put the unit on physically. Like, because like I was looking at this river bridge and trying to work out if I could use it, like the old Tabletop World one, but it's, I don't know, it's got like little like guard houses on one end, and it's the bridge itself has got a decent wall and down, and like I was just trying to work my head through, is this practical or not, or is this going to just be really annoying on the table to interact with? And I think that's a really important thing that you've got to keep in mind if you're putting terrain together, that you do want to have it. It's got to look nice.
Unfortunately, it's just the
game.
But
unfortunately, it's got to be compatible with the gameplay, and we're not a skirmishing game. And that comes with certain limitations.
Exactly. I mean, that's part of the battlefields. I know, like, do you put a lot on? Do you keep it sparse? I mean, on one hand, I think if you went back and looked at most, medieval style battles, they're not playing in the middle of a forest. They're battling. They probably found places where they mostly were out in an open area. Like, it's funny that we love throwing up forests and impassables everywhere for the gameplay, but I'd imagine historically it probably wasn't always like that. It's like
sometimes it was. It wasn't. I mean,
it's just a balance.
I mean, as we said before, having a footprint placeholder underneath is a good solution. So if you do a bit of terrain that you're like, I'm not sure this is playable, at least having that prepared and being able to place underneath for players is a really important thing, because if you just don't do anything, then it just becomes annoying.
Now, one thing that Old World brought out, and I haven't really seen you do it, Josh, I thought we might do it more, but I don't see it, is the decorative terrain, the stuff that's under 2 inches. Because that just ended up being, it was cool to do, but at the end of the day, just make your scenery look better, like your normal terrain. Or have you been tempted to do any of them, or it's just a bit too tedious? I mean, we have got baggage carts now, so I guess that's sort of like it, but...
I mean, I am tempted, and I do have quite a bit of that stuff in the past, because on my modular board, I actually put in like some just spaced around like 32mm Sabot rings with a magnetized base underneath, so that I could just put in stuff that was based
a cow,
a cow or a signpost or that type of thing, and it would just disappear into the board and look like it was always part of the board, kind of thing. And that's how I decided my forest, that the forests you could take the trees out and stuff because they're in a ring in the base. I must admit, I have learned about that now. The forests I did originally, they were on either 32mm bases for small trees or 40mm bases for big trees. It's too small because it's annoying, because when you pull them out, the trees fall over, and it's just like, it's a bit...
I've always just done like random shapes with the jigsaw.
So Yeah. I know, and I did look at that as well, but I've ended up sticking with that system, but with a bigger base now. So I'm going 40 mils minimum or 50 mils for bigger trees, and that just means the tree just stays upright. Because I think if the trees are falling, you pull them out, and then the trees are falling all over the table. I think it's just a bit annoying. So anyway, that's something.
So like with the mushroom ones I've done that I'm doing with the Night Goblin one, I've sort of all I've done is two. Like I do 2 MDF things. Like I do the footprint, and then I do the next one, which is a little bit smaller. I mean, it would only be smaller because I'll shave it, like I'll sand it. But then I've cut two weird areas out of that, which then I've been able to stick on multiple mushrooms on that. So it's only 2 things to take off, but then you put it back on, really, and it's covered in mushrooms.
Cool.
So that's how I've done.
Yeah,
this,
I agree.
Don't have all these individual things to take off.
Yeah.
No, I think that's totally a good way to do it. Yeah, I agree. Having a nice big area you can just pull off. Or even just a footprint underneath.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could have gone that route, but it's still like, I don't know. Sometimes I like it if you're not fully in the forest that you can leave some of it in there. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Otherwise, people, what I find is people just take the whole thing off and they leave it on the side table for the whole fucking game. Like, what did I do it for?
Sometimes you don't have that much room either, so you're like, pull this thing off, and you're like,
Yeah, well, that's the other thing.
Where do you put it?
Where if it's a bit smaller, you can sort of just put it next to the other one, and the unit can sit in front of it. Like, just move around it. But anyway, that's cool. Anyway, well, I don't know. Like, there's heaps to talk about, but I think we got.
There's heaps, but as a general thing, I think that's what we've covered.
Did you have any photos you want to show before we kicked along, or did you do that? If we seen what you were going to see?
No, I don't really have any photos right now. So I mean, I've got. I mean, you'll see the board when I go through my game in a little bit. Anyway,
cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh well, should we get on to the second half and smash through some hobby stuff so we finish earlier?
Let's do some shout outs. And
okay.
We've only got one little bit of questions. We don't have many questions today. So
Sure. Alex saying display board meta when. That's a good point, because that is one thing we didn't talk about. And I know it's different, but it sort of is similar. And I think that would be an awesome thing to start seeing come back in at least the Aussie scene. So good point. Maybe that's something that can be a whole new episode, talking about display boards. It's a bit of a mix. It's a mishmash of modeling and terrain stuff, so I like it.
Yeah, it can look really good. I haven't personally ever done one, because
I've got one.
I get too distracted doing terrain and stuff. But yeah, they can really set off an army. You can look
even my simple one with my Tomb Kings on it just makes it look so much better for a pick. And so I have thought of, if I do ever do my dwarfs, doing a proper dwarf. That's an easy one, obviously. Dwarfs are no brainer, but they're all, like I said, it's the same type of technique that you talked about, Josh. Just adding that detail and little cool little things on it, and especially with 3D printing. I mean,
it's probably more exacting though, isn't it? Because I feel like the detail, you got to really go hard on getting those cool details in, and then you've also got to make sure you model it and color it in a way that sets off the palette of the army itself, that it fits the aesthetic of the army, that it creates a story that tells something about what the army's like doing or something. Like, there's so much you can do with the display board, Like, it's like, it's, as you say,
I used to love listening and seeing the pictures from Warpacker back in the day of the amount of stuff they used to do, and like some massive displays. They weren't even tabled. They're like full things that had to wheel in and stuff, and had their armies on. And I'm just like, man, that would have been cool. Like, it'd be cool to get to that point. And hopefully we do, as the game evolves and gets more new figures out and stuff. So, if we build it, they will come, I guess. Anyway, let's get on with shouting out our patrons over on patreon.com/Fanatics. These guys do help us ramble on every Monday like we do and support the show. So big thank you. And like we said, we've got all these tournaments that we've been running. Some of that support has then gone into, helping get some of this stuff. So, and now we'll help buy 4-litre Mod Podges for us. So, so anyway, big thank you to our paid patrons. We have Jason, and then I can't read all this. Sorry. Also, guys, before I continue with these shout outs, I'd just like to remind everyone about Snake Eyes. It's a teams tournament I don't know what else it says. Can you see more than that? Or maybe it doesn't.
I can only see it's a Teams Tournament Co.
Oh, it's run out.
Oh, maybe
On
it
the
got clipped
website.
when he pasted it. Yeah. Anyway, so that's from Danny Paints. So yes, Snagos. Zeffel, Sexy Dan, Hobby Horse, Mark Hewitz, Your Business, Ambler Doom, Western City Wargamers, Feud Owner, Vinny, Cathay Balloon Man, 115, King Pash, and the Mustache Rash, Tom Pickard, not Matt, Jess Tours, Adam Lamb, the Orange Juicer. I got sent $20 to rate someone's BBC. Big black column. It's not exactly a monolith, but hey, $20 is $20. It was bigger than an ogre.
Oh.
Firebirds 7137, Peter Holman, Mark Lagley, Matt Hinton, The Old Warrior, Silver Dave, Sporadic Sanity, Mark, Nick, Graham Vanderbush, Chris Ballard, Drunk Hammer Nate, Ben, Cam the Dentist, James McKellen, Liam Fallon, Jay McBride, Flatwheel Jed, Sexy Jelly, Herald of the Old World, Keelherd, Tommy Dogs, Matthew Klein, Perfidy, Griff, Jess Tors, Wood Duck, Josh Griffiths, Ninanawam, Daniel Broadstock, Elliot Mitchon, Gilthos Draconos, Diesel, Danny Gamer, Robert Z, The Morning Wood Tavern, OJ Hurler, Gherkin, with, I don't know, just boxes. I don't know if the font just didn't work. Gumwitch, the best 15-minute battle reports on Zen Fox Games, and the OG from the Apple sign up, Todd Lloyd. So, who also signed up to Castle Assault the other day. So, yes, that is our awesome patrons. We have a couple of questions.
Yes, we do. Well, we've got one question and one.
I just saw that from Sexy Dan, and I did not do my homework on that. Next week, I'll collate that of what people have sent through from my question last week.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was, but I thought I put it in. Should I just read it out? Do you want me to?
Yeah. Might as well.
Because you're asking about what people play, music and that kind of thing. So it was back in the day, this is Sexy Dan Hobby Horse. Back in the day, we would listen to Flight of the Conchords or watch DVDs of Red Dwarf on repeat when we were playing. Red Dwarf.
Yeah, it just rings such a bell. It's just the time of the era. Yeah.
Yeah. I also had the Quantum of Solace OST for some reason. Another Way to Die still slaps.
I don't know. What's that?
I think it's a James Bond.
Okay. Okay. Right.
Is he a geezer?
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I know lots of Australians like Red Dwarf, but
what do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he English? Is he an Englishman?
I'm not sure.
Is that what you were calling a geezer? Is it any Englishman called a geezer? Okay.
I thought that was interchangeable. Okay. Yes, it was
great, awesome.
Geezer, Englishman,
Mark geezer. Yep. I think it's common. It's popular. I definitely found it like popular in Australia amongst some nerdy circles. Anyway, I listen to it a lot. Did you have any others, by the way, of OSTs or music feedback or work?
I'd have to go back through the chat. I don't know how many people did, but
that's the only one.
There might have been some on YouTube,
so Discord. Oh yeah.
So I'll collate it. I just haven't had a chance this week. So plus with being away, so
I think there was some talk about Lord of the Rings OST as well. Actually,
Cam does that. I would enjoy that. The problem I've got for me is I've got a blank because when I played there was no music. So when you're talking about music, I'm like, you guys had music.
What do you mean there was no music? You're not that old. You're younger than me. What?
No, but I mean, like you were talking about, like, at the shops or when you were playing or when you're doing like, there's rules to the, there was no music that was, I suppose, I can be reminiscent of, nostalgic of.
But you didn't even sit there and play music
when I'm
doing stuff. Yeah, no. Oh, okay, right. Well, that'd be why then.
No, silence.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was early on, especially early on. When I'm talking like 4th edition, 5th. Like I had that. That was when I bought my first CD player, and so I had like 3 CDs. So you just played them over and over and over again. So like those 3, like There's a few of them, like Joe Satriani, Extremist, is one that just used to just fucking play over and over again, and it reminds me of that time, which is mostly me playing Warhammer, so, and Queen and shit like that. So it's just, just early '90s. Yeah,
no, you could put maybe the GoldenEye soundtrack on, and that'd get my nerd juices flowing.
Yeah,
from the game.
Yeah, although that was probably a bit later for me, but yeah, that was huge. Those type of stuff. So.
Yeah, that was my war.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I found the other. So Angela Stark also asked, well, he said, when I played Lizardman, I used to put on Hans Zimmer Planet of the Apes soundtrack. Worked perfectly for that.
Yeah.
Dark Elves. I really like the Battlestar Galactica remake. But now he's looking for something that suits Cathay. Not sure what fits them at my taste yet. Yeah, Cathay, I don't know.
Big Trouble in Little China soundtrack.
Yeah, that Kung Fu fighting song.
Yeah, Kung Fu without getting too. Yeah.
Well, I've got to be careful. We don't want to don't want to lose more subscribers.
Yeah.
Do you remember that ages ago?
Can I give a shout out? I mean, this is, I know it's Patreon, so I'll do it. China ran their first tournament on the weekend on Old World Rankings as well. And there's a couple of picks from some of their games, and they're using that awesome Minotaur model that I use for my Doombull in some of the picks. Nice. So just shout out to Grant. I can't remember. I get confused with their names because it's he's got Grant somewhere and then he's got Leroy somewhere else as his username. So I can't remember who's who. But really good that they're starting to get some of the little tournament scene happening.
Nice.
It's crazy. It's such a big country. I wonder, like, once it wakes up in that regard, how, just a small population area would actually, have a lot of games going. I wonder how big they are in 40K. Probably still not as big as they should be, but yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. To get more popular. And then did I have an actual question? Oh, I did. Again, Angela, sorry, John asked, what Easter theme model should Games Workshop make similar to how they make a Christmas themed goblin?
Ooh.
What
do you reckon? It has to be undead? Model? Like, do you reckon it's got to be something Tomb King related or vampire because it comes back from the dead? I don't know. It's like, I don't know.
I think
I was thinking more like
religious side.
I was thinking more like rabbity stuff.
Yeah,
I was thinking rabbit too, but then I thought it's got to be undead. It's got to be undead.
Yeah, so could you just mix it into some kind of weird zombie rabbit thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
With a bunch of
You have to do it in a... Yeah. Yeah, no, it'd have to be something like that.
2-day-old zombie.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a pretty good answer. There we go. Yeah, that's the questions. Have we got? That's right. Can I just pick up? I didn't pick this up before. Mark shared a couple of photos for some really nice looking Lustria scatter terrain on here. Look at this.
Oh yeah,
these guys. It's so pretty. There's some real natural terrain going on at the bottom.
Yeah.
And those plants.
Yeah, they look cool.
Really
I think those. Oh no, they're not. I was going to say. I think those palm tree things are what I printed, but no, they're not. They've got the little.
You get like paper ones, I think, and metal ones that you can.
You got little coconuts, little testicles.
Yeah, in the hobby shop, they're pretty good. Yeah. The old leaves that you can get.
And what was this? So that was his
did Mark,
Lustria campaign.
His ones?
They're made by Barefoot, he said.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Cool.
And then work in progress for Moot Battle Board. Is that cabbage? I think it's a vegetable patches.
It is.
That's a great
vegetable patch. That's cool.
That is good.
Okay, so have you done a vegetable patch, Josh? I think that's given you some motivation. If you haven't,
the competition.
Have I?
And it's difficult terrain because it's not that it hurts people. It's just that they're too busy eating. Like it should be difficult terrain for ogres and I don't know, goblins or something that decide to start just eating whatever's in there.
I've done a cornfield.
It's difficult. It slows peasants down because they're too busy. They start eating. They can't move. They can never follow up if they're in a vegetable patch. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, cool. Well,
So ridiculous.
just quickly, should we? Can I cover the news thing, or you want to get into the game thing?
No, I covered the news.
Yeah, because it's pretty. It's not really news, but so if you
It
guys
could be.
it could be.
It
Yeah.
could be news. We don't know the significance.
There's a couple of
this yet.
channels. I think it was called Pointy Paints and Plucky's Tabletop Parlor that were talking about some changes to the web store availability of certain things, and they are different starter sets. Really, they are different from different regions, so it doesn't mean much. But I think there's some. Yeah, it's like where there's smoke, there's fire. And I guess the main thing. I'll go to the UK one because that was the main one that they'd noticed. And yeah, our Australian store's a little different. We actually do have Cathay here. But basically, the long and short of it is, no Cathay box here, no Tomb Kings available, no
Bretonnian.
no Bratts. Also, there's another, I think it's Germany, it's giving discounts on the Tomb King starter sets or something. And then also the new Marauder starter battalion one's even out. He's not even there. And so I guess it started people thinking about, I don't know if we're seeing it sooner rather than later. I'm not saying a second edition, but a reboxing, and it makes sense if.
Wouldn't it be a second edition?
Well, I'm just going to say it makes
Sure,
sense if they
that's
pulled Tomb
reboxing.
Kings in Bretonia to get rid of the rule book, because it's sort of, so that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, they're getting rid of the rulebook. Yeah,
And we
to me,
did
that
see
says
the
they're getting
Tomb
a second
King
edition,
leak
right?
ages ago of the actual. Remember that leak we shared with the Tomb King battalion box that just had the Tomb Guard, the Necrosphinx / War Sphinx, and maybe some Skeleton Warriors. Can't remember what else was in it. But it didn't have the cavalry, which was interesting because the new cav models are all on 60s, 30 by 60s, the new characters, but none of the Tomb King skeletons are. And obviously we all know they've got to be one of the worst, like derpy looking things they've made. Well, like at least contemporary.
Like the old ones.
Yeah, it's just crap.
Yeah.
And so I like the idea that maybe something's going to be happening there. And then on top of that, when you see Cathay and sort of, the Marauder one disappear, and we've already seen heard rumors of Chaos getting new knights and new warriors. I don't know, it starts getting us thinking along the lines of, could they be at least packaging up, like I said, the Tomb King's Bratts into just smaller, normal battalion boxes that we have sort of here. But would they be potentially doing a Chaos Cathay starter box, even if it's still version 1 with an updated rulebook or not even an updated rulebook, whatever it is? Could those two come out different, or would they just be also aligning them, pulling the old Chaos one in order to put some Marauders in it? I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? It sounds interesting, and the rumors were saying we might even be seeing things sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it just got me thinking, not more like in the short term. It's almost thinking in the short to medium term. It's like, how long off do you really think the Chaos Invasion is going to go from feeding into, like, it's like the start of the Chaos Invasion, like obviously, you've got Chaos moving down, but it's not officially the Chaos Invasion. I was just sort of like, it's more of the scope of the project, but I just wonder how far away that is actually going to be, because surely it will.
I feel like
in an edition.
I don't reckon it'll. I don't know. On one hand, I could. Look, this is really not an answer because I'm going to give you both, but I feel like I could easily see it being like a second edition type thing, and they do use it to bring in new Empire and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I could also see them sort of keeping it like the end times, where it's like it's this thing that's almost going to happen. It's almost going to happen. It's almost going to happen, and then
everyone keeps talking about it.
Yeah, and obviously be still using it to bring new elements in, but maybe they never get to it, or maybe it's in like an edition where it's a real redo edition. So maybe second edition it's not, but third edition's a full redo again, and then bang, you get hit with it. Because it would change the game again, because once that comes out, you could do things like that it's finished or it is finishing, and then you've got Colleges of Magic and all that sort of crap. So
Mm.
I just can't imagine they put out an up-to-date rule book. Like, I just don't think a first edition. Like, this is I don't think there's any possible way to do that, because
I mean, if they
know,
did,
they're
that's
very likely to put out.
Still.
Yeah, that exactly, which is much longer for an edition than you'd expect. So yeah, I feel like there will be a second edition, next 6 to 9 months, surely.
Yeah.
And then we'll get a second Empire book, and we can just not review it again for years.
That's exactly.
We're the first come up the rank.
Now, remember, we have reviewed the Empire. You can go and look at it. We just haven't done the Arcade Journal. Let's be fair.
That's true.
Well, we haven't done the Arcade Journal with ASP, but yes. Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, it's just 40K is going to just suck up so much wind over the next into summer, like the Northern Hemisphere summer. So I feel like we would have to, we'll get something before then. And so maybe it is something like reboxing of some of these things, and maybe a bit of a, another, because there was also rumors that there is definitely an Arcane Journal with some chaos in it.
Yeah.
So that I could see that sort of thing dropping. I don't think we're seeing second edition. I don't know. Maybe we do see it end of the year, but at some point they're going to realign their schedules. I don't know. I don't know what their plan is.
Like, we haven't had much, have we? Like, we had the Cathay drop, which was, previewed months in advance, and that came out. But other than that, for the last few months, it has been, relatively quiet compared to some periods of last year.
And we're in that period where we literally have nothing.
We didn't even get a preview in Adepticon.
Yeah,
we had nothing.
Preview. Yeah.
Didn't even get a preview, which
it's annoying, but doesn't overly bother me.
No, it's not like I'm necessarily asking for stuff. But remember our predictions when we were trying to guess how many new kits would come out? I was hoping for maybe 1 or 2 more new kits of some kind by now.
Yeah,
some more like Marauder drops like they've done.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. Yeah,
like at the current rate of refreshing the line, it's it can take a very long time.
Mark's saying 26 still. There you go.
He was saying 46 at the start of this year. Now he's saying 26. I remember, Mark. I haven't forgotten.
Yeah. Let's take the Adepticon thing. I take it as a privilege for Old World. They just didn't want it. They knew it would overshadow some 40K stuff, so they had to put 40K with all the other systems that no one cares about. That was the reason. You heard that here first. It's not true.
Don't have Old World dominating everything. Yeah.
No.
Entropy saying 3-year cycle and there's only 2 years of releases. Bring it on January. Like, that's the thing that we would see. The only thing is, it just ends up in this weird spot where you've got like fantasy drop and then you've got AOS drop in the next summer, but maybe that's fine. And, then there's the whole, I mean, we haven't even talked about it here, but the whole end times of AOS that's apparently been done. Like
47 releases.
Changing that up. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. All I know is it has been.
In summary, we have no idea.
It's been very successful, and I think they know it as. So I just take these. I take these pauses as they're busy working on stuff. I think one of the videos also said stuff like the designer from Middle Earth Battle, whatever it's called, strategy battle game, whatever it's called, is being pulled in there. Yeah. So they've increased the staff of Old World. So I think we'll see that. It's just going to take.
Yeah, I'm not particularly perturbed, and to be honest. Yeah, no rush really to see much change.
Need to give me time to paint what I've got. Yeah, so it doesn't overly bother me. Yeah, so. I think if anything though, I am becoming more receptive to the need of a much easier edition to get into and battalion boxes that make sense and stuff like that. So hopefully if second edition brings that, I think that's a massive win. Like all we cared about at the moment is getting the old players back, but that's not gonna cut it.
Yeah, that rule book with the erratas on top is incredibly impenetrable. You can really only learn the game by having it taught to you by another person who knows how to play.
Basically. Yeah.
That's really the only way to get into it.
And like we don't even use the rule book when you play, like because it is so
Yeah.
changed. You might as well just use the Toe website app thing, and because it's too.
Because the rule book is so invalidated.
Yeah.
Better off just selling it.
Yeah.
Jump ship.
I mean that's like 40K now, isn't it? It just seems like. You know.
Yeah, well, these get butchered straight away. So I don't even know why you would buy the stuff. It sounds like people buy it just to get the code for the army builder things, but it's a bit weird. Like you want the game to advance like that, but it's a bit of a shame that it just
spend some more time and refine it before you start.
Yeah. Or just acknowledge the rules are going to change, dumb them right down and give them free and make the books really cool from a hobby and photography and new release stuff. I think, some of the books are good and you like flicking through them. So,
yeah.
Well, yeah. And what I'd be hoping for a second ed would be mainly like tightening up a lot of the poorly written or loose ends. Like I wouldn't want a second edition to be a complete rewrite.
And it wouldn't
either.
it wouldn't be. Yeah.
Because it's like they had an idea of what they wanted from this game and they sort of landed it, but there's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. And the second ed rulebook where, they've really gone into it and gone, okay, you need to fix this. We know what the problems are. It's a perfect opportunity to do that and actually produce a really nice, tight version of a Warhammer fantasy game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay. Well, that was a bit of the news thing I just want to bring up. Outside of that, we got into some games though and some Renegade.
You did.
Next,
we did.
A little bit of time.
Just a little bit of time. Just crack through it.
Well, I mean, do you want to touch your one, Josh? Because we hadn't.
Yeah.
We didn't even know you were playing it.
I know. I just teed it up with my bro and cousin. I didn't get any proper close-up photos. So Daniel, he actually is painted up like his dwarves. He's done almost 1,000 points of them now. He's got some rangers, some warriors, some iron drakes, a cannon, a couple of things like that. He needs me to help fix he put together some gyros, but he didn't.
Got some cavalry there. Is that
what's
allied?
the cav? Are they allied or
the cav is? Oh yeah, sorry. So yes, the cav are allied. So my brother, who doesn't really like competitive games, he was like, "Can I just have a unit?" And so I allied in a unit of white wolves with a captain on there.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Right, yeah.
Because we were just playing 1,000 points. So he just had a unit just to run around. I was running the Dark Elves. Now my Dark Elf army is pretty basic because this originates from the Cult of Slanesh army list. So I don't have any monsters. I don't really have anything special. In this list really it was a little block of witch elves, a block of Cold One Knights, some Peter crossbows, a sorceress, some dark riders, and some shades. I did put a death hag in the witch elves with the executioner blade because I just wanted to see, because she's just to see what she did.
If she got into
We'll see. And then with Daniel, actually, I was just like, because he had a Thane, and I was like, what build do you want? Do you want this ridiculous shooty build, or do you where that does explodes everything, or do you just want this regular combat build? It's like, I want the thing that kills everything. So he took the Dirty Harry build on his Thane.
Nice.
Oh, it was just great. Just to introduce him to how the game is really played. So we had some fun, cannon misfires.
Looks like a doom diver.
He just rolls a 6 and it's fine for the next turn for it to shoot. Because he got first turn right. So then his Thane unloads on my witch elves, kills 5 in a single shot. It's like God damn it. I didn't really do much in return. So these guys are sort of out of range. Had to move them up. They're hitting on 6s with their shots, and they're tough falls. Before I'd say, they're doing nothing. The witch elves move up. I don't think I've got a photo of it, but his cannon shoots again the second turn. He he was having this thing where I think my brother Nick sort of measured it to be 6 inches away, but didn't quite measure it right, and then he ended up just falling just short of the cold ones again. Then he rolled the misfire and the bounce. And he's like, he's bringing the misfires, so it just doesn't go through. But then his shooting does just then wipe out the witch elves, because like if I think about this in retrospect, guys, where I put those witch elves was probably not the best spot for them. Like, because I've got a unit of 16 rangers on a hill. They've got the Iron Drakes next to them, and then I've got a unit of warriors with the Thane that shoots. So I probably the witch elves have no ability to avoid this. They're just being wailed on. And they're not fast enough. So I almost should have put them where the cold ones were. Maybe the cold ones would have put up with the fire much better. So that was, in terms of deployment, that was probably my major mistake. So I never got to see the Death Hag combat. I was really sad because, I was inclined to see this plus D3 attacks Fury of Cain with the Executioner Blade. Would have been a lot of fun. Anyway, they just got deleted. So I was sad about that. And the sorceress didn't do a huge amount for me because that curse word thing, the thing with the curse word, the thing that drops your weapon skill to 1, is that it's a 12-inch range hex. So
it's one of those,
you've actually got to.
I think we talked about that.
Got to position it
right up there. Yeah,
right up there. The turn before you want to cast it. To actually get it off. So I wasn't getting much opportunity. I didn't get any other measured missiles. So I wasn't getting much out of her at all. The Dark Riders got hit by a few things, and then they ended up. I sort of just pulled them across the board because they were about to get wiped out as well. The Cold One Knights did pretty well. So the fact they had countercharge does make them much more usable. So they actually did quite well against I think they killed like three or four Knights of the White Wolf because they got to strike first because of the initiative, and ended up just running through the unit and redeploying. But then the cannon finally he got a grape shot off. So in this game now, the next 2 turns he does a grape shot, and he gets the cold ones down to like 1 dude or 2 dude. And they end up just going. I forgot that the first charge had been expired, so I just charged them into the. I mean, obviously, I could have just charged them into the cannon, but I was like, I'm gonna try and flank these warriors with the shades and the cold one, and just see if I can do anything. And obviously, they just bounce off completely, and just flee. And that was the game. Like it was fun. Like I think the stuff that the Renegades gives, I have very limited exposure to it really because the units I have weren't changed that much, but the things I was most interested in seeing how it felt was the strikes first on the witches and the counter charge on the Cold Blood Knights. And the counter charge definitely helps because it means you can maneuver them much more freely against other cav. The cav off battle they can be competitive in. Would have been nice to see the witch elves actually get into combat, but I just didn't give them the opportunity to do so because I put them in a crossfire death zone of just incredible amount of dwarven shooting. But maybe next time. But it was a fun game. I enjoyed it.
Cool. Are you going to? Would you add more units to that then over time that are going to be Dark Elf related because of the Renegades, or you just see how it goes?
I think so. Yeah,
okay.
I think I will. Like, I am tempted to do like a War Hydra, maybe some chariots. Try to sort of give it a bit more of a fullness to it. Maybe some executioners or Death Guard. And the Corsairs look fun too. Like the thing with the shades is they're kind of expensive, and if you're ambushing them. I don't know, they come on kind of late-ish, whereas a cheap unit of Corsairs, if they've got ambush, I reckon there may be more to go with their little hand bows.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
How'd you go, Andrew, with yours? Like we played, I don't really have pics of it. If you haven't seen I played Orcs, you played Skaven. How'd you end up finding it? Because we had briefly mentioned at the end of the video, this is what I printed for you. To do the hobby time as well because I just wanted. I love these models, and I just went, and I got 2 on a plate. So I was able to two, except I missed a fucking cannon thing. You'll notice one doesn't have one. I've reprinted it now. So it's just me not counting. I thought I had a failed print for a second. I was like, where'd it go? And then I looked at the thing. I didn't even put it on there. And I hurriedly got one done because I thought you were only taking one. And then you brought both because I'd printed them. So that was
Yeah.
So, yeah. That
Sweet.
was him.
Oh, Josh, you're sorting out Black Sigils. Yeah, go.
Yep.
Yeah, no, they were really good. I was surprised. Actually, you did quite for a quick paint job. They actually looked really good.
Yeah.
I was finished.
They're pretty easy to paint, actually. They were pretty good. And just,
the metal stuff takes up paint nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah. I'm going to do some more stuff with the warp fire stuff out the front or whatever, but I just, at the time, I didn't have time. But, yeah. No, they're pretty cool. But overall, we had the orcs. I don't think I've got any pictures. There's some of the ones I've been working on with from the Pandem one. I can't remember the manufacturer, but it's the guys who do all the Egyptian stuff, which is pretty cool. Just gonna
it looks
make
really
a few
good.
more desert ones, and that'll be a good one for that one. But yeah, we played orcs, and I don't know. I felt like it was pretty close initially, and then obviously just once I got into that big block of your block, I think those four boys did better, like they always do. I think they took down a spawn in one, not spawn. What's it called? The hell pit in one go.
Oh, the hell
bomb in one charge, which are probably a little bit over.
You had itchy nuisance on it.
Yeah, itchy nuisance, and they only just did it.
Evaporated.
So I wasn't expecting that. I thought they'd get stuck, and then obviously get destroyed by that block, which was I think the Skaven Bell block, and then I was going to get my general in, but didn't need.
Did you roll the furious charge attacks for the ball boys, by the way, or did you just roll one? Because I do get furious charge.
There's only 4 of them would have got it. Yes, they did. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
There were only 4 of them in contact. Yeah, I did. But that was what?
Okay, I didn't roll. I just thought you were only rolling. I didn't think you were rolling enough dice, but yeah, fair enough.
Oh, okay. No, I think we added it all up. I thought we did, but yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought happened.
Yeah, fair enough. Looks like a fun game. I was disappointed there wasn't any Skaven shooting in a miscellaneous direction, misfires.
No,
we didn't get that. And Andrew's too nice and keeps
you got a double
Skaven
on the bell,
Doom wheels right out on the flanks. So they're not like shooting each other. The bell was good.
Fun.
Yeah, and then apparently doing a rules check. So I did do it wrong. I just thought thematically it just seems like even though you're in a challenge, you don't control that, so it should just blow everybody up.
So we got that wrong. Yeah. I thought everything does to stay in the challenge.
I think you said that it should stay in the challenge. And I was sort of thematically I should just
and then you blew yourself.
Everybody up.
Yeah,
and then anything from a like you said, from anything in a challenge, so they would have counted for combat risks or any
exactly.
Wounds. Yeah.
Anything in the actual combat phase. But that's cool. It was a bit of fun. We didn't really care. And the other issue around we weren't sure how to read that bell one that was like multi-wounds because it sort of says takes 3
that's right.
Takes D6 wounds or D3 wounds. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, is that a multi-wound? And we were like going, it probably isn't because it doesn't say multi-wound. So and then we diced it and it went the other way, but we probably got that wrong because we ended up just dicing it because we weren't sure. But
rather than saving each one.
No, it's a good game. It was a really fun game. Skaven, I don't think have a heavy hitter. I don't know if they really have ever had one outside of the A bombs to a degree. But definitely that Wyvern. I felt that combat. It's sort of one of those armies where you're reliant on masses. Just some shenanigans here and there. It's definitely a lot better than what it was. Yeah, but I haven't had that much to do with Skaven, and people obviously played a lot more than me, and I'm sure they're loving the changes because clearly it's a.
Well, I think they were moving towards that, that Stormvermin block and all that, and then now with these other changes, it'll bring in some more stuff to play around with that as well. So, like you said, we probably just took the double bell thing because it's fun, but.
Yeah, just
not the most
classic
competitive.
Skaven.
I mean, that fucking plague thing is so scary. That's the problem. They just want to stay away from it. So, because it destroyed in the old version, like just in the legacy, normal legacy when we played ages ago, Andrew. I remember it just ate through my fucking Black Orcs or something because they went down to toughness 3 or whatever. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. No, it does do quite well
this time. I tried getting my whole plan of getting the chariot in with the ball boys, take out some first charge, but they just never made it in, the poor chariots. That's the problem with these heavy chariots. It's so hard to get them in, I find.
Yeah, they just don't have the same range, do they?
Yeah, I was so scared it was going to take my ranks away. I'm like, no, I need to kill these things.
So he died or something, and then I think the other one, he didn't die, but he didn't make it in. Remember with the Mangler went in, and the chariot would have gone in. That was when it could have worked, but then I didn't roll high enough, and all they did was get shot like two combat res shots on him, and the Mangler, got killed. I was like, damn it.
I think
that would have been a very I reckon if the Mangler and the Charity got in, that would have been an interesting fight. If I'd rolled decent on the impact hits. Because I could have really reduced some attacks back, and then with no ranks and the Mangler doing its shit, I think, you never know. I wouldn't say it'd break the unit or anything, but it certainly would have not run off and died like it did or whatever. And then Fanatics did what Fanatics do, don't they? At least in this game.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, well, you rolled like 11 or something on 2 Fanatics, which is
it was pretty insane. Keeping that dude away from that side. Yeah, so that was fun. It was good to get the orcs out. It makes me want to just need to work out what I want to do. I'm struggling with orcs because saying to Andrew, it's the oldest army and it's so mishmash of old 8 stuff that I've gotten right back to 5th ed figures, and there's no colour really scheme. And I actually struggle with it. I'm doing this with 40k. I'm starting to get my 40k done for 11th. And I just struggle with orcs. I love them and they're my favourite, but I struggle to actually have a coherent paint scheme with them because I feel like on one hand they shouldn't have a coherent paint scheme because they're fucking orcs. They shouldn't be walking around in uniform. But at the same time, you do want to have some, and it's I've always struggled, even in fantasy and especially in 40k. I look at it and go, unless I make them all goth and they're all black, goth orcs in 40k or whatever. I've just struggled to really find that palette that I like, which is kind of interesting. But obviously, if you settle down with the bases and stuff, it doesn't really matter. But it's just I need to.
Yeah, the basing helps.
What I do there.
If you got the basing uniform, that helps a lot. And even just limited palette for what you're painting. But I agree. If you're doing it over such a long period of time, it's really hard to keep it all.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and
together.
And I want to start replacing the night goblins, which I have with I think it's a mix of Highlands and some of the other White Angel or something. But the Orc Boys, I've struggled to find good Orc Boys. And I think the avatars are not as bad as I thought. So I'm going to give them a go and print out some. Well, I did print some, but I did them a bit smaller than I'd probably want. So I'm going to reprint them.
Well, those 8 ones
were pretty printing good for somebody else there too, Gomo, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. It's all your final Wyvern Shaman is finished sitting out on the plate. So they're all done. You got 3 Gob Chariots coming.
I'll have to bring a polished paint over.
Yeah. And so what did we end up printing in the end? It was 3 chariots, 3 goblin chariots.
I've got another big
a wyvern general, a shaman general. I think basically you've got a goblin shaman, a goblin hero, and a wolf. I think you've got a BSB 20 on foot, an orc, and an orc BSB on balls. And then what was the heavy hitters though? Oh, no, not ball boys. What was the other things you did?
The wolf riders.
Two wolf. 10 wolf riders, 2 orc chariots.
20 wolf riders.
20, sorry. Yes, 20.
Yeah,
that's right. I got 10 on that thing.
Mucking around.
It was a pretty big chunk of avatars, which is cool.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be hopefully me and Josh might actually get ours on the table at a similar time. Might even be able to have a game one time. Nomadic War off.
So all going Nomadic War. Man, I'll have to bring my Nomadic War too. We'll just have all Nomadic Wars going at each other.
Just a 3-way.
It's so funny. The amount of fucking orc boys. Was it from Moab? Like when I was getting these guys out of the shelf, I was like, yeah, there's them. And I was going, what? Where's? Oh, and I look on the shelf above, and there's like another 16 or something. So there's like, I think I did 46 or something, ball boys or something. It's just like you're never going to use them outside of pneumatic wire that many, but yeah, it's just funny.
Well, that's about how many I've got. So.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a bit of fun. It was good to get a different game in. Other than, I mean, the Beastmen are cool too, but the orcs I just love. I just need to. Yeah, I don't know. It's like this is the edition at the moment. I feel like maybe that's a whole topic for next week or something. Like, what are the army lists that haven't been done yet? Do you know what I mean? Like, because you get to this point of the edition where it's like, okay, if I make an orc army, it has to have this and this, and like, and I don't. You sort of want to move away from that for the last to have a bit of fun.
Yeah, because I feel like this is the closing stage of the edition, right? Like, I feel like we're getting to the tail end of things where a lot of it has been used. So, that's a really good point, and I think that's a cool topic. We should totally look at that.
Yeah. Okay.
Next week. Can I put up Black Seagull Studios Cathay he's been working on? He put in the live stream chat, which is looking incredible.
I was gonna say, that's not a book. They are.
Is that a
huge.
battle board or is that just terrain? This is insane,
so
man.
What the? How big are those things?
How big the Sentinel
that balloon is big.
To...
That balloon is big, and it's only. I mean, you could see the lines, but wow.
I'm assuming that's kind of like going off the wall because like they got the big wall. Is that basically themed off that?
Where did you get? Did you
like
make them? Like, I want to print them now. I want to get Andrew to print me them.
They are insane. Yeah,
be waiting a while.
Definitely get Andrew.
Yeah, I know. Look how many prints that would be for each one.
You're better off getting Josh to them.
I don't know. Oh, Josh, you have to regale us quickly before we close out.
Oh yeah. This will be a good way of closing. Oh, so funny. I mean, what I was doing, right? So, because I think like a month ago, I had a huge blob that destroyed my hot end and took out the thermistor. And so I could not repair it. So I was just like, fine, I'll get a new hot end. And I was like, I'll just buy a second. I'll just buy two. So I got a backup for if I get a problem. And I did a few more prints and it's been okay. Mainly I'm just printing bases and movement trays. That's all I really do with the FDM. And then I was trying to get some. I needed like 40 more bases because I need to do some objective markers for Blighted Harvest. So I set it all up, and it'd been a few weeks since I printed anything. So I just cleaned the build plate. I set it all up, and because it's down in the shed, I never check in it while it's printing. By the way, this is probably the main problem for me because I go down there the next morning, and it's just like it had mostly printed, but then they'd all got damaged at the very last bit, and some of them have been sort of shifted off, and then there was a little blob near the nozzle. So I was like, okay, that's a bit annoying, but I managed to heat it up, get the blob off, and then clean it all up, and probably did a full clean of the build plate again, re-leveled it, and then went again, and then I got a huge blob, and the whole thing was. All the wiring was stuck in this huge blob, and I tried to heat it up, I just couldn't get it out. I was like, honestly, it's so frustrating.
I think Andrew's trying to explain to you what you should do, and you're like, it's already fucking in the bin.
I'm just so annoyed with it. I think it's because I didn't level it because I think I leveled it, but not like tight enough. Like it wasn't hard enough against the build plate. I was leveling it, so it just didn't get the adhesion. And then because I'm not checking on it, it just became this huge blob. It didn't adhere at all, and it just. And and I think once all the wiring gets stuck in the blob and it's just all set, like I just like how that I'm either gonna have to use a hairdryer or like melt it out and then somehow preserve the wiring or rewire it or something. And it's like, no, I've had enough of this. Printer. I'm just sick of it.
Yeah, the funny thing is like every time I print something, I'll come out like the next because I print overnight. And I'll like open the shed in the morning. I don't know what I'm going to find. I'm like, am I going to find it nicely printed or am I going to have like this blob and shit like everywhere? Like it's just this, you roll the dice.
It's 3D printing for you, isn't it?
That's it.
Yeah. Gross out so much with it. I think they were about, I can't remember how much I spent on it. $60 a hot end, I think it was, something like that. So yeah, a bit over $100 for two. bit annoying. So yeah, I didn't have the courage to so I took off that hot end and put on the new one, and I'm like, I don't want to risk using this again. I'm just gonna sell this freaking printer. And yes, PlayStation go. It's funny you should suggest that. So what I've done is I have now purchased a Bamboo P1S, which is the fully enclosed one, self-leveling. Like, I'm used to the world of my Saturn 4 Ultras where I can it just does it all for me. And it's just like, it's just flawless printers. And it feels like when I'm using that Neptune, I'm back with my old Mars 3 trying to friggin' level things and just doing it all manually. And I'm
part of the fun.
No, I don't have time to deal with that kind of crap. I'd just rather have a printer I can just.
You guys are just chatting about stuff, and I'm like, I'm glazed over. Going, I don't know anything you're talking about. It's so funny. Like, it's funny that, I'm sitting here going, the resin printing is just so much simpler. But you're right. It's just the newer auto leveling stuff. You just don't have to worry about it. But
yeah, that's right. That's what it is going. That's what I want with my FDM printer. I want the same luxury.
It's supposed to be easier. The FDM. Like less mess but man.
Well, I was going to buy one, but then I bought a Orc Army, so just.
I was tempted to get the A1, but then I don't know. I think the dustiness in my shed pushed me towards getting an enclosed one because it's just. Yeah, it's much better control of the environment.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'd agree.
I didn't even notice. Well, I saw your receipt that you posted on our thing. I didn't actually see. I knew it was Bamboo. I didn't know what model. I'd have to. How much was that one? 6. That was on special too, wasn't it? Didn't they have? Yeah, 600.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's how much it was. Don't make me say the number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Bamboo, the A1 was real cheap the other day when it went down, though. I remember when they had that. Discounts. I don't know if it still is, but
okay. 4 printers.
Ghost was waiting to upgrade to the P2S. I don't know. I looked at that and it was 50% more expensive, and I felt like for what I use it for, like, because really all I want to do is trim bases and movement trays and maybe a bit of terrain, but more often I'm quite happy doing terrain in resin anyway. I feel like the P1S was fine. I don't need to spend like almost $1,000 on the FDM printer.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know this.
Much straighter lines.
But the cool thing is even the P1S it's got a little app thing, it's got a camera, you can actually watch it, you can send through jobs on your phone, like the capabilities that it's got that I'm reading about. I'm like, this is actually incredible. Like part of the reason why I went there, Elugu said Neptune was in my head. I was like, oh yeah, I'll stay in the same ecosystem as the resin printers I've already got. Turns out it's completely unrelated. It uses completely different software. It's got no connection whatsoever. And the more and more I'm finding about the Neptune feedback and all the Elugu FDM printers is, all the feedback is very mixed about it. The Bamboo's the way to go. So, I had a lot of brand loyalty for Elugu for the resin because I'd used the Mars 3. I liked it. The Saturn 4s are good, but the Bamboo, I feel like the Bamboo's way to go. Cool. Oh, he said change LCD. Oh, Ghost, sorry to hear that. I guess you got. I mean, there are a consumable. You got to eventually change them.
I wonder when I'm gonna have to. Mine's been going good. I do need it. I'm way over my 60,000 on this last lot that Andrew's done for this FEP. Well, not FEP. What do they call it on this? But the exposure film. But whatever it's called.
It is a FEP. Isn't it a FEP?
Yeah, they call it something different on this one. It's
different material, isn't
different, it? But but I can't remember what it's called. But everyone still calls it a FEP. But I'm just doing what you say, Josh. Just keep pressing. Just override. Sometimes I'm like, should I keep doing this or should I change it? Am I going to come out to just a pool of resin all running down the side of my screen when it splits? But yeah. So yeah, that entire army that I did with Andrew, not one bad print, just bang, bang, bang.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's what you want.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in the weeds dealing with leveling.
The Highlands in between it when I did the Doom wheels. I was like, oh fuck, maybe I have to clean the thing out because I'm missing a gun. I was like, oh no, I just didn't add it on there.
Well, but man, I really strongly recommend. I'm finding because ever since I started, draining the resin after each print, about 40% of the time there'll be a little piece of resin in there that I wouldn't have known. That may well cause either a failed print or a dent in the film.
The screen. Yeah.
I hadn't
done it.
Because I used to have a regular fail, but since I found a nice strainer that I could use. It just takes me 10 seconds or less to pour it out. And I was using the coffee filter as it took so damn long. It just was a real turn
No, I've got
off,
a proper good little metal one. That's good, but I don't know. I feel like I check it. It's printed well. I don't know. It's been good. I haven't had to do it. So, yeah. We'll see. You watch, the next print will fail. Murphy's Law. I do like that Shaman, though, Wyvern, man. That looks cool. I was about to print 2 of them, but I thought I don't need one at the moment. Okay, we've got to wrap this one up, guys. We did hit the 2 hour. There you go. Haha, it's not sure.
I can't believe it. What are we doing? What are we doing? Wrap it up.
Anyway, guys, thanks for listening to Old World Fanatics. Hopefully you will try and remember all the bloody show notes. Hit us up if we forget some, and we'll put some links up on the description of all the terrain stuff, the printers that these guys just talked about, all that sort of stuff. Really appreciate it. If you do want to like, subscribe, please, and leave some comments. It really does help the YouTube algorithms. And if you do want to support the show and you've found it interesting while you've been painting, please consider support over on patreon.com/oldworldfanatics. Like usual, do some hobby, roll some dice, and I guess we'll be back here next Monday. I don't know what we're talking about yet, but we'll see you then. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Bye.